Well, welcome. This is the May 30th, 2024 meeting of the Fitchburg Historical Commission. My name is Keith Chenot, Chair of the Commission. For your information, this meeting is being recorded by FATV for future broadcast. And we have a quorum present. With us is Don Ostrowski, Andy Lepasti, Charles Stornono Mello, and myself, Keith Chenot. For our agenda today, let me see if I can share my screen and get this up. Well, okay, here it's coming. All right. Item number one on our agenda is public comment period. We've had no write-in comments, and there are no public comments in the current audience. So we'll move on to item number two, review and approval of the April 25th, 2024 meeting minutes. I had just had a quick review earlier today. I emailed out a suggested revision of item number two, paragraph number two, which was concerning the presentation about ongoing activities at the theater building project. Offering those as an amendment to the minutes. And I don't know if you've seen those. Sorry for the late comments on those. It was basically mentioning, which was kind of a change from their previous schedule, their new 3 phases of the work on the theater block. And I thought it would be important this might be their public announcement of those changes. And I thought it would be good to get those in a little bit of what those 3 phases were.
3 phases. Okay.
And I can read those off if anybody wants that information, or.
You said you emailed it out?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah, I got the email.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I haven't seen that.
Well, that certainly seems reasonable, Keith.
Okay, any other comments on the minutes?
I wasn't at that meeting, so I have nothing to say.
Okay.
And you didn't say it very well.
I didn't. Thank you for noticing.
If there are no other comments, motion to approve as amended, anybody?
Motion to approve the minutes as amended with Keith's change to item, I guess that's item 3, paragraph 2, theater block project update.
Yes, I don't have it in front of me there, but I think that's correct. The item on the theater block. Yep. A second motion.
Second, can I second?
Second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand. Okay, opposed? Abstain? The motion passed. Item number 3, recap of activities for the May Preservation month and brochure release titled Celebrate Fitchburg's Historic Preservation. That all went well. Again, FATV recorded this, and there is a link on FATV's website for this particular program. It's about a 60-minute program with panelists from including Mayor Squalia and representatives from community development and planning, economic development, Fitchburg Redevelopment Authority, and of course the Fitchburg Historical Society and the Historical Commission. I think it went well. The brochure release went well. And the members, we probably had probably 40 or 50 people in attendance. And so it was, all chairs were filled from my perspective, which was a great turnout. There were some interesting, after the meeting was over, interesting questions, and people happy to hear the program. So, and we were also had a video clip from the executive director from Preservation Massachusetts, who congratulating us on our program and wishing Fitchburg's best with our efforts in preservation. So, any other thoughts or comments? Oh, and one other thing on the brochure. We've had a total of 2,000 copies of the brochure printed. I would say probably several hundred of them have been or at least probably 100 have been distributed. We still have a box of probably about 1,500 of them, or 2 boxes of about 1,500 brochures that need distribution. They also, they are a half fold plus a triple fold. The printer was able to do the half fold, so the last 2 folds need to be done manually. And some of those were done for the ones that have already been handed out. But if any of you there present would like to help volunteer to distribute these to, one, get them in some racks in the City Hall lobby, getting a bunch to the Historical Society, the library, Chamber of Commerce, and perhaps even out to the Information Center out on Route 2. Johnny Appleseed Center? And I'm going to be picking up some next week and getting them over to Fitchburg State. They may be using those with their admissions director to hand out to prospective students, and particularly their parents, kind of introducing them to some of the great aspects of Fitchburg. So if anyone is willing to help with that and the distribution, give me an email and I'll let you know where those boxes of additional brochures are. And so you can get your own also, so you can distribute those too amongst your friends and acquaintances. Any other comments or information on item number 3?
Are the brochures stored somewhere here in City Hall together?
Yes, they're up in Community Development Office on 3rd floor, back left-hand corner. And they're stored there right now. Just I'm sure everybody, the staff there knows where they're probably located, so we just go in and ask for them there. Other comments? Okay, moving on to item number 4. Project to document and share Main Street building histories, historic district information, tax credit, and other restoration reuse incentives. I know Andy had started some work on creating a database on some of these buildings. Any updates on that?
I don't have anything new to report on that this month.
Okay, good, thank you. Number 5, update on Monument Park repairs. I don't have any new information at the moment. We had talked about coordinating with Parks and Rec, particularly starting in the fall, and finding out more information about the budget process. Maybe I was misinformed, knowing that there were budget hearings happening this past month. I think we need to find out some more information on when exactly budgets are going in. Does anybody have any information on that, or that's something I can follow up on?
I don't have any information on that.
Okay, let me see if I can get some more information about the budgeting cycle that the city goes through and scheduling for that. So I will try to follow up on that soon and let everybody know if I hear information. Number 6, update on historic building demolition delay.
Before you move on to the next thing, I just wanted to say that I was going through Andy's minutes from the last meeting that I wasn't at. And I noticed that the DPW found the molds to the wrought iron railings for Monument Park.
Yes.
That is exciting news.
Yes.
I was telling Andy that we've been looking for those for about 10 years, right? Has it been that long?
Yeah.
And we searched high and low for them, and they magically appeared right where we always thought they were all this time anyway. I guess they were hiding behind something. I don't know. Was there a story there or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can actually follow up with James on this and actually take a look at them to see what shape they're in. But
Because
that's
that'll
good.
save a lot of money if it's what we need to
Yeah.
repair the railings. It's gonna save a lot of money. It's like half the battle was those molds.
Indeed. Yes, that's good information.
I guess my question would be, what kind of shape are they in? You know,
Yeah.
and the boundaries still use.
Right. They should be about 20 years old. They're the ones from the last time they made repairs, right? That was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, it was in the early 2000s, 2003, I think, that some repairs were being made, similar type of repairs. Correct. That would be great. Any other thoughts on Monument Park?
I also saw in the minutes from the last meeting that there was some interest in the park benches that we have, offered for people to donate to. And Ellen also expressed interest.
Yes, Ellen did, and I believe James said that there were no bites from his end, so I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, maybe I misunderstood it.
Yeah, it's really just interest, but not in buying it.
Oh, interest, but not buying. Everybody's interested to have them, but nobody wants to spend the money. It is a lot of money.
For a good cause.
It is for a good cause.
Like we had talked before, Charles, if people start to see a bench or two in there, maybe other people get interested in, start to add.
Yeah,
It could work that way.
and then I guess, Keith, at some point, if after enough time goes by and there is absolutely zero interest in donating a bench, if there's a plan B, where it could be something to put in for community block funding or something to purchase it, I don't know how that works.
Right. Exactly. Should be a line item somewhere in, again, the budgeting schedule and
But
where
that's
that,
not for us to do, that would be for the DPW to do, correct, or the Parks Commission?
correct, and we're just the, the squeaky wheel on this. It's, DPW and parks to, from our point of view, to prioritize certainly the fence repair and park benches and other repair items that we've mentioned in the past for the park.
I think at the park, they've added a new, like stone marker for the Civil War soldier they honored this past Sunday, Memorial Day Sunday. Orlando Boss was his name. And I think there's, markers on the Christ Church side
Right.
with a flagpole, I believe, too.
But where's that placed?
It's on the Christ Church street side of the park. And it's kind of towards the front, there's I think a new stone marker for the Civil War soldier named Orlando Boss that was honored this past Sunday.
Is that a permanent marker?
I think so. I've been meaning to get down and look at it. I did go to the service, but I didn't get a chance to go see that marker yet.
Yeah, if someone could take a photo of that and distribute it with the commission, that would be informative. Thanks for
I
seeing
can do
that.
that tomorrow morning.
All right. Good.
While you're walking your dog in the park.
Yeah, and apropos,
Is
as
it
a side note,
Yeah.
since the no dogs allowed signs have been taken down, there has been no increase in the amount of dog poop in the park. In fact, there is none. When we walk through, I'm looking for it because I want to make sure I clean it up. There's no dog poop.
Great.
So far, so good.
The private park. No, that's good. People are becoming more conscious of that and the responsibility of pet owners, so that's great.
Human garbage. There's still plenty of that.
We'll have to get a
We
little,
should have a sign, no humans allowed.
yes. Or at least have a pickup bag for them.
Yes.
I think, I don't know if it's parks or DPW, they might still drive their vehicles up into the park, because when I was there Sunday, there was like tire tracks.
They were supposed to stop that.
They were supposed to stop that.
Exactly.
That's right. But
Right.
I guess they didn't get the memo or somebody didn't get the memo.
Right.
They're waiting for it to be repaired and then they'll stop.
Okay.
Right.
Should we contact them and just let them, remind them not to drive their truck over the granite stairs?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Because it really is causing a lot of damage.
Yeah, affect this.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it would be a,
I think it was, James Bunnell was here when we talked about that.
Right.
Yep.
And he might not know that the whoever is doing it. Because he was unaware that the no dogs allowed signs hadn't been taken down. We had to remind him.
Yeah.
I will, while I'm talking to him about the molds, I will mention that to him also. Thank you. Any other Monument Park issues, thoughts? All right. Moving to item number 6, update on historic building demolition delay.
Well, I don't have anything on that, but I was, it's kind of connected with item 7, the historic stone walls and stone structures, because I sent you an email, Keith, about, I was at the planning board meeting, the other night, and, having to do with Applewhite, and the architect, Dan Quayle, who, zoomed into our meeting and answered our questions, very well, I thought. He was answering questions too before the planning board. And I brought up again, that stone wall, can be moved. And, I was thinking of that, anybody who says, oh, it would be too difficult to move it, or not feasible. Well, we have a big boulder at the top of the common that was moved from the top of Rollstone Hill. If they could do that over 100 years ago, they could certainly move this stone wall. And his response was, well, they had, you know, I said, well, there's no retaining wall in front of the student dormitory that they had. And his response was, well, they had thought about putting some landscaping or flowers or something, I don't know where. But it seems to me they weren't taking it seriously, what I was suggesting. So there's another planning board meeting in June 25th, I think. I'm planning to attend and reiterate that this is a stone walls. Now, it doesn't fit certain people's conception of a historic stone wall, because they think of that, you know, the stone walls out in the woods where there was farmland, you know, built in the 19th century. But historic stone walls, you know, first of all, they're made of stone. The granite is probably from Rollstone Quarry, and it is of historic significance. It's if not for world history, at least for the neighborhood, it's of historic significance. And I think it's well worth looking. Right now, there's nothing in front of that dormitory. It's just a slope, a grassy slope. And you know, the argument for taking it down from where it is that, well, there's no need for a retaining wall. They're going to dig down into the hillside to put the new gymnasium and health center in, so they don't need a retaining wall. Fine, but there is a slope just a few, how many, 30 yards away maybe, that could use a retaining wall. And it would, why not just use this one? But so I'll follow up on that, and I think it's part of our purview in terms of historic stone walls in Fitchburg, especially those that are made with Rollstone Hill quarry granite.
Okay. Yes, I did have, I started listening to the tape on the hearing for the Applewhite athletic area building and changes to their campus that they're doing. I wasn't able to finish it and hear all the local comments, but thank you for sending me that link. I just started listening to it yesterday and didn't get to finish it yet. And we'll take a look. We were considering a stone wall either an ordinance or guidance for the city. And I think it would be, this is, looking at perhaps some examples of how something like this might be applied. And one other thing that from parts of the interview of several of the people speaking from the neighborhood, including yourself, talking about the importance of the appearance and general architecture of the Prospect Hill area, and kind of the value, particularly in the people that are maintaining the buildings there, et cetera. I think that's a good sign of things that the Historical Commission might get further involved with. Perhaps looking at perhaps in the future considerations of creating additional local historic districts in the city. And this might be, at least in my opinion, you might be a prime candidate for this type of consideration that would include an area such as the Prospect Hill area, and creating some boundaries for that. Certainly it is one of the many areas of the city with lots of historical buildings in it that could and if the owners in that neighborhood are would like to pursue something like that.
I wanted to just add, it's not really the same thing, but it's the closest thing to stone walls. I can't remember the name of the streets. There's 3 streets left in Fitchburg that are cobblestone. Technically, they're not called cobblestones, but I forget the name.
Scenic roads,
What is it?
scenic roads,
No, the name of cobblestone street.
cobblestone roads, streets, yeah.
It's not really cobblestone, it's called something else. I can't think of what the name is off the top of my, anyway, there's one going down, past S&S Lobster, I believe it is. And they were doing some restoration on either sewers or water mains or something, and they tore up along where the pipes are, and they put pavement instead. And I saw, a tractor with, the granite stones, in it, and so they're probably just hauling them off and dumping them somewhere or taking them. And I don't understand why they're not putting them back.
Yeah, those cobblestones were probably made right here on
Stone.
Yes, and so those are historic significance, and so, yeah, they just go ahead and do things, and they're either not aware of the historic value of things, or they just don't care. I don't know, but in Salem, when the city wanted to tear up some cobblestone street, there was a huge outcry by the citizenry of Salem about that, because there are very few cobblestone streets left in Fitchburg. There's now one fewer, and soon they'll be gone. I mean, they'll be lost.
Yeah. So what is some proactive action that we could do to help remedy or educate people when projects like this come up? Any suggestions of what we as a commission might do?
Well, one thing is to find out what happened to the cobblestones that Charles is talking about.
Sure.
Where did they go? Were they dumped someplace?
But it maybe some dialogue with DPW from our standpoint to make them aware.
I mean, when they're working on a paved road like Main Street, I know that there's cobblestones under there, but it's paved, and I wish they put them back, but they don't. But when it's a cobblestone street and there's only 3 left, I feel like they should put them back.
Right, so what should we do?
Well, would Liz Murphy know anything about this?
Who's that?
Liz Murphy,
Um, she's not really DPW, but certainly talking with them, that they do kind of future planning. And maybe help with some of the funding for road projects or help in grant writing and things like that, so.
Looks like
And
included as preservation of stone structures in the town.
yeah,
yeah,
I saw that digging road work going on too,
Yeah,
on River Street.
yeah,
yeah, in kind of a um we could if we decide to, we could, one, write a letter to the DPW department head and just with a general comment of the historic value that we see in the remaining cobblestone streets and mention of effort to try to, when there are repairs, that this particular paving be replaced where it was. So that, it may take us a while to get any type of ordinance on stone wall, or at least informational types of things. And if this is something that's could be happening, quickly on other streets, just to make comment in so they're aware of our thoughts on it. Say that again. I'm getting an echo here.
I'm just gonna close the door, it's somebody out in the hallway.
Okay. I'm trying to remember that name of that street. Does anybody know what the other
Oh,
cobblestone
one of them
street?
is called J Street,
Say it again.
one of them is named J Street, I remember that one,
Yeah.
J-E-Y. I can't remember the name of the other two.
Okay.
Um. Do you remember the name of any of the cobblestone streets?
Jay, I remember Jay. That's it.
Getting the one they just dug up.
There's the one that's on River Street that they dug up, and then there's one over near where I live. Near Pritchard Street, that's a steep hill,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's not Jay. That's a different one.
I don't know, I'd have to look at a map.
And Jay even further up on the hill to a steep street further up on like Mount Vernon Street Hill there.
Yeah, I can't remember where the third one is now, you think I know this, but I'm blanking on it.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. What do you think, if for now, if we just send a note from the commission to DPW, kind of mentioning this and as just kind of a general request because of their historic symbolism and value to the city?
Yeah,
It's been obviously an ongoing thing for the last 100 years of replacing cobblestone streets with paving, and anytime there's utility work, that's certainly probably the least labor intensive way of approaching it, of just removing and replacement with a new material. And mentioned because of their certainly the limited amount of cobblestone streets left in the city, their value as a kind of reminder of of the, creation of streets and the creations of paving in the city, get their value. It's something that certainly we as a historical commission would recommend maintaining.
And there's still a lot of cobblestone streets left in Pittsburgh, they're just covered with pavement, so you don't see them, but they're still there.
Yep, yeah. Yeah. They were put in, the streetcar rails that were put in amongst the cobblestones, along with the cobblestones, the removal of those, certainly major utility projects that happen. We can think of Main Street that's been dug up many, many times. I'm sure they still dig down and find cobblestones in lots of areas too. Okay, other comments on Stonewall or?
Oh, I just Googled what they're really called, they're called sets, SETTS. They're not really cobblestone, cobblestones is like that street in Boston. That's photographed, I think it's Acorn Street, where it's like the little round pebbles. Those are cobblestones that they took off like ballast from ships that came over from Europe. And they made streets out of them, that's cobblestone, but when it's like granite blocks, they're called sets.
Spell that again.
SETTS.
Okay,
Yeah, it's also known as a Belgian block.
Yeah. Belgian blocks, yeah.
okay, good. A little education here. All right. Any more comments on demolition delay or moving into historic stone walls and stone structures? It started out with Applewild's new project and some ongoing comments on that. Yeah, and just personally, I think that like Pete Capodaglio has done with the Rock Walk and kind of raising awareness of the quarry, which kind of started with the boulder that was mentioned earlier in today's meeting. That's really part of what I think makes Fitchburg unique from other cities, particularly around this region, and perhaps even Massachusetts, is the quantity of stonework, and particularly because of the Rollstone Quarry being right here in the city, and the geography of the city with all its hills and retaining walls, etc., made from these stone structures, that gives a visual quality, the historic visual quality of Fitchburg, a lot of unique appearance to it and texture to it, if you.
Yes, I wrote to you, Keith. I went on the stone wall, couple Dotley's stone wall this year, and there were 50 people. I counted 50 people. And I asked him about it afterward. If that, he said, well, it varies, but they once had as many as 95 people on the wall, which he said was a little bit too much because, some of the sites where he stops to talk, there's traffic coming by, so that created a bit of a concern. But I wrote a review for TripAdvisor, and I said it's not to be missed. This rock wall is not to be missed, especially for residents of Fitchburg who can walk it. I mean, it's very informative, and it really gives a sense of the history of the city and how important the quarries on Rollstone Hill were. And apparently apparently how noisy they were during the daytime. Because they were drilling equipment, rock drills and all kinds of things. So I was thinking about that when I complain about noise. It was far worse in the early 20th century, so. Anyway, sorry, that's a side digression.
No, that's good information. I'm trying to remember. I just had, I think Andy might have helped get some old images over at the Historical Society and sent some of them to me that included 2 or 3 images of the Rollstone Quarry in operation. One of them actually shows the boulder still up on top. It's kind of looking up toward the top of the cuts that were made in the granite in the quarry up on the hill. And here is this lonely erratic boulder sitting up on top of there, which was, as you had mentioned, was moved down to Main Street in the Upper Common.
Almost looking like the boulder's ready to fall over and just roll down the hill. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Surprising.
I'm trying to see if I could find that. I could maybe flip it on the screen here, but let's
There's
see.
another note, I remember, I went on the rock walk, a few years ago, and it's kind of before you start climbing up into the quarry, and a gentleman had a house, right, kind of at the base of the quarry, and he's the one who made all the cobblestones. And
Yeah.
his name, they named the street after him, I can't remember the street name, right off of Rollstone Street. I believe he had a house.
Yeah.
You know, right there.
That's
Face.
right.
And he talked about him making all those cobblestones.
That's
that
right.
They did the city streets with.
Sets.
Sets, I will.
Yes.
Cobbles and sets. But, that was that one man's like work. It was amazing. Think about it.
Okay, let me try this again. And is that showing up on your screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is Rollstone Hill. These are some of the they probably had steam engines in them to power these derricks that are all kind of cable run. They have a boom just like a regular crane would have, but they were all done with cabling that would come back to these shacks. You see the little smokestack on them, and these probably had I'm guessing early on it was probably a steam powered machine in here that provided the engine, and probably later diesel powered that provided the power to run these derricks. But here's the Rollstone up on top of the hill. They're getting very close to the edge here. And this is kind of just the debris left over from the large stonework that was excavated out of the various quarrying that was happening. So the odds and ends pieces left over. So a definitive history of what was happening at the quarry and how that was used in our local retaining walls and building foundations and railroad bridges and stuff is an interesting thought. Certainly a unique part of our city here.
Yeah, Peter said that there are plans to make a replica of the boulder and put it back, a bronze replica back up there.
Like baby shoes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Life size though.
Yeah. Maybe it could be an inflatable type of thing. So. All right. Let me get back to screen sharing. All right, any other on demo delay or stone wall? Oops, yeah, there we go. Update on coordination of signage for Twin Cities Rail Trail. We were having some good success on this. We have 3 signs that we're creating some suggested text and graphics for that I think I've reviewed in the past. We are trying to get this to the landscape architecture firm that's working with the state contract. The Fitchburg final end of the Twin City Rail Trail is expected to go out to bid. I've been told probably mid-August this summer to select the contractor and kind of move forward with the final completion of it. And the 3 signs are going to be part of that contract. So we're trying to get in our final graphics, hopefully by early next week, so that get it to their designers so they can come up with a draft of the professionally done sign and get some final reviews and approval before it becomes part of the construction bid documents for this August. So Andy was helping getting, again, downloading some good image of some of the historic areas. And this includes some of the past manufacturing buildings, the quarry, information about the river and water power, the railroad, and immigration to the city, somewhat represented by the area that we affectionately call the Patch, that's surrounding St. Bernard's Church Parish that is still standing in just off of Water Street. So that's in progress. Hopefully by next meeting, all that information will have been submitted, and we've had some input on what the signage would say and kind of representing some information to travelers on the rail trail about Fitchburg's heritage. Okay. Any thoughts or comments on that? Item number 8. Number 9, historic marker update. There have been no applications in this past month for new historic markers. Number 10, commission membership vacancies. We still have 2 vacancies on the commission.
Yeah, I talked with Chris Patinzi this morning, and he still intends to fill out the application form and said he would try to make a meeting today, but he had court business earlier, so it may still be tied up in court. I also sent you the name of someone else who was interested in being on the historical commission. But she said that in general, she can't make 3 o'clock Thursday meetings while she's working. So I wondered if there was some other way she could be
Well,
part.
Yeah, we certainly have the option of changing our meeting time at any time we want to. I know it's been a somewhat of a hardship for Charles and other people that are working kind of regular business hours to be able to be involved with the commission. So I am, I personally am able to switch this to kind of other times that people might be more able to attend. And so we can, any thoughts on that or considerations of
there's no good time for me, so it's gonna be a challenge for me. So I always say, you could just have your meetings, whatever works for you guys, and I just do my best to come. But when we used to have them in the morning, I think I was a little less challenged because my job was mostly in the afternoon back then, but now that's a little different, but I don't know, I might be able to do, I don't know, I just do what works for everybody else and I'll work around it.
Okay. Maybe Don, if you're speaking to this, perhaps two candidates, if you mentioned or asking times that would be better meeting times for them.
Yeah, I said, well, we used to meet at 6 o'clock. And she said, fine, yeah, that works for her. I don't know that. We have to make a determination whether we want to change our meeting time just for one potential member. I don't know if that would work better for Alan. Or not. Andy, how about, what do
Yeah,
you think? Is 3 o'clock all right with you, or 6?
I could probably do both. We would probably prefer still the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, how of those present, how would 6 o'clock seem as a going back to a 6 to 7? You know, if it's a 2-hour meeting, it would go to 8 o'clock. As just consideration, we haven't made the change yet, but you know, would it work for Andy? Would you be able to make a meeting like that?
Good, and then I mentioned it, Don, I would still prefer a 3 p.m. I don't know, can we do 5s? Is that possible? Right.
I think I prefer the 3, but I wouldn't make any changes if it's up to me. But whatever works for you guys.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm thinking of, you know, our problem getting other members to, new members to sign up. And I think those that are working daytime have professional obligations and things that maybe a later early evening time would be considerate. So
You know, Don, that's a question for Chris Rapinski there.
Oh, I hadn't thought to ask him. I got that might work better for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe if we could pick up another 2 more people. Go to the later, if they
Okay,
go later.
I'll follow up on that. Yeah, okay.
yeah, and maybe ask both of them if it would make a difference. And right,
Okay, I will do that.
thank you. Let us know. Let's see. Any other new business? Item number 11.
I had one item, there's some talk about the mausoleum at Forest Hill Cemetery. Getting renovated or updated or repaired. Sally Cragen, Councilor Cragen, starting to run trying to get a group together. I said I'd be willing to help sit on that group. She's gonna hold meetings at the Historical Society. I think our DPW commissioner mentioned it when we met with him a while back. He had an architect in the mausoleum. I believe it's listed as a historical building. Somewhere.
Yes, it is a beautiful structure that needs a lot of repair. It would be certainly a shame for it to get in any other disrepair. I think it's certainly a stone building. If anybody has a chance to swing by there. You know, funding and et cetera, if it must be the cemetery commission that's working on that also.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think certainly funding is the big issue there.
Yeah. Or have they received any funding for it, or they have problems with that?
I haven't heard yet. I think just in Sally Cragen's emails, she called it like it's a large capital outlay to get this work done. I don't know if, it'd be a good question if, I think there was a preservation architect looked at the building too, to see what their results or report was. It'd be interesting. I think it was built in 1920.
Mhm.
If you look at Macris, the Forest Hill Cemetery location in Macris, and it has some notes about the mausoleum in there. The PDF file that you can call up.
Yeah,
Sounds like a pretty large building. I can't recall the size of it, the drive up there one day. But, I don't know, it's something we just wanna be aware of. Like I said, I'm hoping to attend some of Councilor Cragen's meetings on it and can probably report back here.
Whoever they're using for like the architect and preservationist are people that maybe we can have consulted with for the Monument Park repairs. For the monument itself and the railings. And the stairs.
right, right. While we're looking at this, I was trying to see if I could bring it up on Macros. I found just the cemetery, but I couldn't find the building. Anyhow, let me go back.
I think, if you open the PDF on the cemetery, you have to kind of read down through it a little bit to find the notes on the mausoleum.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, I think, is it showing on your screen there?
Yes.
Okay.
I think, when you look at the cemetery listing, you see where we're talking about inventory, it's a PDF file. Yeah, there it is, inventory.
Are you seeing the inventory that I'm looking at now or not?
No,
Okay.
no, I started to
Let-
load, and it just wasn't. Coming up
Okay.
once,
All right, here we go.
there you go,
Yeah, there's a
picture of it.
Forest Hill Abbey, it's called. That's the building you're talking about, I believe, Andy, right?
Yes, that's right.
How much is that rent for?
The Abbey.
What's that?
I'd like to see what it looks like on the inside.
Yeah, 5 bedroom, 3 bath.
Yeah.
Like the Laurel Hill Cemetery, there's a lot of history in the Forest Hill Cemetery also. There's reference to Putnam. We have Putnam Place. Was a large manufacturer at one time in the city. Other mausoleums and structures. But this building has been in need of repair for, it's had some patchwork done to it, but it's been probably receiving some water damage over the years.
Where's that exactly?
Forest Hill Cemetery off of like Mount Road. Oh, yeah. It's out Rollstone Street.
Yep. Good.
Yeah.
The question we quite often get as a historical commission is about funding sources for historic buildings. And kind of looking into our future, it would be good if we had someone that would maybe kind of focus and kind of categorize the kind of ongoing grant programs that are being put out by Mass Historical Commission. I believe Preservation Massachusetts also has a grant program. There are other historic preservation oriented programs on the more regional and national level that have grant programs out there, sometimes for very specific categories of preservation and just general categories. It would be, and each of these have different deadlines and application processes done. I was thinking as, for people like the Cemetery Commission that are looking for funding sources, and they probably looked into some of these, but it would be maybe a future goal that our commission might have is to be able to kind of categorize and have a handle on what grants and funding might be available for preservation types of projects, such as this one. And having it kind of readily available, or at least sources to, go to this website or these websites to see if a particular project might qualify for some funding or matching grant funding for some help. These are always costly projects, and similar to Monument Park, sometimes hard to get into a budgeting process, particularly for city properties and private and institutional properties. So. Yep.
On the rock wall, Peter, they're doing quite a bit of cleanup on the trails of the rock wall, especially toward the summit. And as you know, parts of the trail are rather challenging. And so they apply for grants. And I suggested, well, maybe the historical commission could help with that, support those grant applications. So I thought we could maybe coordinate with the Rollstone Hill. I forget what it's called, but they have a group that is regularly trying to improve that whole area. And he's talking about some really significant plan, not part of it, including a replica of Boulder,
Yes.
putting back into it. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I know that's a hardworking group. They did send us a request, I think earlier this spring, to help back their request, or a letter of to provide a letter of recommendation from the Historical Commission for a particular funding application they were putting in, and we did respond with endorsement of their application on that. I think I sent out a copy to everybody. This was a few months ago, early 2024.
So that's probably something we could consider as they try to get this mausoleum renovated, and letters of support from us,
That's
right?
Yep. Yeah, if Andy or others know of someone that if you want to help take a look at some of the funding sources, or let me know, and I'd be happy to help take a look at that also. And maybe kind of a joint effort, we can come up with some recommendations, at least from the historic funding aspects of it on.
Okay.
All right. Any other new business? Hearing none, our next meeting is scheduled for June 27th at 3 p.m. Same location, unless we hear differently.
What's that date again, Keith?
The
June
June 27, which is the last Thursday of June. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second the motion. I third.
All right. Thank you all in favor. We will see you in a month, if not before. Stay in touch. A lot of good things brought up at this meeting, and let's see if we can make some headway on them. Great. Thanks much.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.